The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello, and welcome back into the LCS Challengers League. I am Magical, still joined by Mazel and Cubby as we get ready for our second series of the day, which I promise you, regardless of the results of the game and how they are in-game, it is going to be a banger of a series because both teams are fighting for the top spot right now. 2 games behind them, Disguise are so close to taking that spot away from TLC, who have been slumping in the recent weeks. We have been seeing that slow decline from them, and now with APA going up to the LCS, Harry coming in to the mid lane. I ask both of you, what are your initial thoughts from both teams and what you expect?
Well, I'll just start off and say I think this is going to be a slugfest. I love that we get all the top matchups here in a row to make sure that we get to watch the standings creep as they go. But Team Liquid were disappointed this weekend, last weekend, right? Like specifically Spawn coming out at the end of last week saying this was a tough weekend for us. It was not our best looks and wanting to kind of bring something back to the fold. I think we actually got to see a little bit of that yesterday in their game.
Nothing from you, Cubby?
I mean, hey, we got all 4 of our top teams going toe-to-toe in the next 2 matches, man. I'm just excited to see what happens.
Spoilers! We got to talk about
We'd already
this
said
one.
it like 3 times.
I don't care. I'm excited.
We got bangers.
And we got our number 1 team here. And Team Liquid Honda Challengers, you can see them on the screen. I was alluding to it. Harry is now here, and APA is in the LCS. But looking at this team, they are still a very strong team across the board. Mir, our MVP, our most valuable prospect from spring, still putting up one hell of a performance here in summer.
And I think this is a roster that, regardless if Harry or APA is playing, this team can win a championship in Challengers. Harry did it twice last year. That's why he got the LCS slot in the first place. But really like some of the introspection we got from Harry with his interview yesterday. If you guys missed out on the full interview, definitely recommend checking that out. TL posted it on their Twitter, as well as just going through the VOD. I think Harry gave a lot of thoughts about, the swap that TL made as a team that is competing for Worlds. And while it is sometimes a little bit tough to see a Challengers player return to Challengers, this is a league where it does enable players like Harry to still compete at the highest level, even outside LCS, and try and build up that confidence and build up the skill to be ready for an LCS slot the next time it comes. Something that Harry really talked about a lot in his interview yesterday.
And they are going up against Disguise. 3 of the 5 players on this roster from the victorious spring winners in Cloud9 Challengers, Fake God, Meech, Tomio, and Zazel. Meech was also in the Challengers League with CLG Challengers and Young with Golden Guardians Challengers, but they are the 2 new aspects with the team.
Yeah, I think you get to see a lot of the strengths carried over from that Cloud9 roster, but I also love that Disguised were able to go pick up 2 of our most mechanically intensive laners in terms of Young and Meech, and seeing how they fit into the mold and try to mesh with this team has been a very curious journey to me.
Yeah, and especially when we look at someone like Young, right? In the mid lane where he has had some really high highs, loves to play these melee mid laners, but also has had sometimes where you're kind of questioning how things are going to go for him, sometimes getting caught out in awkward positions. But he still is a very confident player, and that is something that I love to see from mid laners. In fact, we got to hear a little bit of it when we were on the Salty Runback podcast. Greats got to talk with Young, so let's hear what Young had to say.
APA was on Raising NA, the other NACL podcast that we have in the space, just a couple days ago.
Shout out Raising NA.
He called himself the best mid laner by far, and he said like basically there's no other competition. I mean, we're giving you the floor to respond right now in case you want to, say anything back, or I know you guys have like a lower standing right now. You split them in the regular season so far, so.
We'll just see when the time comes. I'll just say that.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, the time is not now because APA is in the LCS, so it does not get approved that. But it's still a good interview to have with Young and really kind of get an idea of where Young places himself, because he's got to go up against Harry, who, when we saw him in 2022, he was one of the people we were like, this guy deserves LCS. He is so strong in his position. We've got to see a little bit of that being back here in the Challengers League yesterday, Cubby.
Yeah, I think that He actually played better in the loss than he did the win on the side of TL in their 1-1 split with Fear yesterday. But still, I think that it was very clear that at times TL, not all on the same page with the newest member. That's okay, something that we expect with such really a late swap. Hearing APA talk about when he found out he was going to be playing in LCS for the side of TLC. I don't think they got a lot of practice in with Harry, but still, Harry's a very strong individual player, a good laner. We saw some of that yesterday. And excited to see how he fits in with this squad as TLC. They still have hopes of winning it all, regardless of the mid laner that they are playing. And excited to see if they can reach that mantle with Harry.
Yeah, having gotten to talk to Harry, he said they had a total of 1 day of scrim together with the new team. About 5 games in total. Not very much practice going in with a whole new team, even though he had played with Bradley in the past. But yesterday, I did get to sit down and talk with Harry, especially about how he's feeling moving from the LCS back to Challengers League, and got to get his thoughts. So let's listen to exactly what he said yesterday.
I'm glad that the team got the 2 wins. There's a lot of things that I'm working on right now. Obviously, I'm very disappointed in myself, and there's things I have to improve on and things that the LCS team wants me to improve on. So basically, my time in academy, I'm gonna work on the things, and once I'm ready for the LCS again, then maybe you'll see me guys back soon.
And I truly do believe in Harry, honestly. I think Harry was a huge standout performance in 2022, but also before that in Academy. He was always a player that when Team Liquid Academy was playing, we were like, this guy is looking so good. Him and Jan were always in our conversation on how they could play, and with Ayla on the team as well. Yeah. And so the fact that he is having a bit of a slump, it happens to the best of us, but I believe that he can truly come out of this one stronger than ever, Mizel.
We've seen so many moments of growth from this guy in his career already as well. And I think even looking back to their 2 Chains run in 2022, right? It was a situation where in spring, Harry didn't feel like he was performing up to task in those finals, right? He was able to turn it around and actually become a main focus for the summer finals in that year. I think that is showing a little bit of the growth, but it's a trajectory that Harry has to get right back on.
And, again, for challengers, like the ideal player is someone like APA, where their first year in the system, they feel like he can play in LCS and go compete up there. But also, we've seen a lot of success cases for challengers just keeping the level of pros up. Think about Dokla, Armeo even, Harry's teammate. And now Harry, the ability for them to play in a very competitive league, keep their skills sharp, and be ready to jump up in LCS. We've seen a lot of players actually improve from Revisit in challengers like Dokla and Armeo. So excited to see if this stop for Harry really help him continue to level up his play, as he so talked about, and what was a really good interview from him. Let's see what he can do today against some stiff competition in Disguise.
I'm glad you said that, because I was about to say, we've seen a lot of players go to the LCS, come back and try again through the system, and come out even stronger than ever. Harry could easily be one of those examples, but he's still got to play here in the Challengers League, and here we are ready for game number 1 between Team Liquid Honda Challengers in Disguise. So both of you, let us get underway into draft.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting all day as we had a banger to kick us off, but now we get to the top of the table matches as we're closing out our season very quickly. We've got Team Liquid Challengers on the blue side. They already ban out that Kai'Sa. It'll be Disguise on the red side, taking away the Tristana, and a lot of the flexible picks that we've been seeing rising through the meta already taken off the table.
And with that Kai'Sa ban, my eyes go towards Aphelios. I think Aphelios has been such a big pick for Team Liquid, specifically Arrow. 9-2 on his Aphelios this split. Has been very dominant. I think that they can pair it with so many things in the bot lane, whether that's something like a Rel from Kim Down or also the Milio, still something that TLC very much willing to play, has been very good for them. A lot of respect being put over towards Harry actually from Disguise, is that Tristana Flex is taken away, but also Harry, I think historically his best champion has always been LeBlanc. It is going to be removed from Harry and TLC for this game.
I know he was talking a little bit about it in the build and the pathing, at least early on for the pick, and I'd love to see that this guy's going to go ahead and give the respect where respect is due. We also get the Poppy banned away by Tomio, a jungler that I feel like fits his style very, very well. We also get the continued focus here as Zaya is banned away from Arrow.
So I mean, every jungler is on the board. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early Aphelios from either of our teams, as Maokai going to be locked in for Mir. Usually see an Ivern response, and I gotta say, I really like the Ivern responses for Disguise.
Let's go. Okay, so Disguise saying they'll take the skill check, they'll take maybe a weird composition, but they will steal away the Jace. from that powerful Maokai duo. We do get the Rel also for Zeyzal, something that enables this legendary support so well for Disguised.
I'm still really surprised that Aphelios wasn't taken. I expect Aphelios to be snatched up here by TLC. And you can't really answer with Alistar on 2-3, because if so, this would open up Sylas or Young. I would not pick Alistar and Narelle here. Sylas would have access to that ultimate and 2 other ones that he really likes. So I think if anything, we're going to see either a top laner blinded or likely to see Aphelios taken for the side of TLC, as again, Arrow has been so damn good at that pick to split.
He really has. Was even having that nod to the play of the week here last week as well. But
oh, yeah.
It is just going to be that focus here as they just want to lock down some very stable presences, at least for them. They'll get the Jinx here. They'll have the excited nature and a little bit of aggression in the table and the pockets, at least, of Arrow. We'll see what the pick is in the last part of the first phase here. It is the Ivern, so we'll get the Fanghorn for us, and we're back to Lord of the Rings.
I would take away Ziggs if I'm TLC, and think about taking away the Varus as well, just to take away some of the magic damage options that they could be facing on the side of Disguised. Disguised, very much, I would say, a little bit of an earlier game comp. Yes, Ivern does scale well with items and given Ivern's kit, but look at what TLC is showing right now. It's Azir, it's Jinx, it's Maokai. It's all about peeling for these 2 humongous backliners on the side of TLC, which I gotta say, a little bit of a different look from what we're used to seeing from the side of Team Liquid Challengers, a team that we usually see have very dominant early into mid-game macros. I think their mid-game decision-making is fantastic on this team. When TLC's at their best, they're beating teams in the mid-game. This is very much taking a back foot in draft, a lot less priority in the draft, something I'm not as used to seeing from Team Liquid Challengers. So, different look from them this game, going up against Disguised, who I think have really indexed towards the early game. So I think this is a bit of a read on what Disguised playstyle is in TLC, trying to use some of their flexibility as a team to break that.
I do like a little bit of the focus towards him down, at least in the second phase, with that Melio ban, with the Jinx combo. You were highlighting that in our first series as well. The Varus ban will be there with the Kennen addition to try to whittle down some of these big, influential top laners. But yeah, I would say Ziggs, something along the lines here. We saw how powerful that could be when you get a lot of the poke down early.
Meech has yet to play the Ziggs, so I think that's the one thing that could keep you from taking Ziggs away here. I still think that Ziggs is a really good pick.
First time for everything.
Denying that magic damage, I think, is pretty big for the side of TLC. Just that source is, if that ends up being the choice for TLC. Instead, maybe a Sylas takeaway. I still think that's pays a lot of respect to Young, as that is his second most played champ.
Exactly.
Young's a very good Sylas player. This is one of the answers that he's comfortable with, and we already have a couple good ults showing. So I don't mind this takeaway, especially if you're TLC and you're looking for something like an Ornn or a Malphite here. That could open up those picks moving forward as well.
And they're playing around with a little bit of the flexibility of the Jace as well for Disguise. They also steal away or take the Aphelios, but something that Meech is perfectly fine piloting, right? Another very mechanics-heavy ADC who has been trying to mesh with the team a little bit closer with Zeyzal as well. And getting to hear from Zeyzal when he's talking about Meech, right? I know last split he was with Lost. He was talking about how aggressive Lost is, but he was lauding Meech on his mechanical skill in the 2v2. So they need to make that work if you want to find a lot of success for Disguise, and they have found it. Right? They got a 2-0 already this week. They want to make it strong continuation here, as it is the Alistar locked in.
What if they just took Malphite here and they're like, we banned Sylas, then we take the 2 champs.
Just take all the ultis.
Like, you must ban Sylas to play. If you are, Alistar plus Malphite. I have a feeling it's going to be more, Sion, Cassante, blind for the side of Bradley. As Sion makes a lot of sense this game. You have someone then to stand in front of those shock blasts.
He's been so good on it, man. He has such good influence in big flanks, the big unstoppable onslaughts. It's been really cool.
Yeah, so Gatekeeper here for the side of Bradley's. He's going to be trying to think up as much as he can. I would love this pick. They need magic damage still. I would love the Rumble. You're playing into a somewhat immobile backline in the Jinx. I think it has decent pairings with the Rel, which can set up. I think Rumble is very strong right now. A pick that Zamuda and Wildcard have been using to great success. But no, going to be the Gwen instead. Gwen will have... immune. It's true. Gwen is immune. We'll have a free lane into the Sion. This lane is very oppressive and nearly impossible to play as the Sion. And Gwen have ways to deal with Azir and Jinx going immune. So we'll be on the front line of TLC to make sure they lock up Gwen and can take them out.
You have a lot of things that need to go right early, I feel like, for both sides. A lot of this is going to rely on Mir versus Tomio and see how the skirmishing plays out. But you do have setup compositions for those late games if we want to go there. But that is the biggest question, because you're saying how bad that top lane matchup is. Well, Fake God has been, if not our best top laner, one of them here this split.
We'll say Fake God's second round robin hasn't been quite as good as his first, as he was my leader, my front runner for most valuable prospect after the first round robin. I will not say that now, but still Fake God has been very impressive this split. Definitely a player, when we were talking about players that have gone from LCS to Challengers and have improved, I feel like Fake God does fit that mold, as Fake God, the champion top laner from last split, has been fantastic in this split with some of the top lane competition missing or moving up in the likes of Hanser, and has a chance to do so against one of the top lane prospects that we have in Bradley today, as Disguise take on TLC.
We are on the Rift now. Every game matters as the season is drawing to a close, and Team Liquid a heavy 2 wins ahead of the rest of the competition, but the pack is right on their heels, 16-10, and we're figuring out how this top side of the bracket is going to work out today, as we have multiple banger games for our top 4 teams. It's Team Liquid wanting to resurge back from a 1-1 yesterday against Fear and try to upend DSG. As make sure you're putting in chat who you think is going to win for this banger. TLC for Team Liquid, DSG for Disguise.
Diving into this game, I think TLC, they need to scale, as
easy dubs
from Tomio. You'll take that. Curious to see what Tomio's opening path is. Of course, on Ivern, you always have the opportunities to do some creative things. So I really like the forward war from Mir, as Mir is going to try and start the same side as Ivern. I think this is very good to do if you're going up against Ivern. If you decide to go for a mirrored path, then that enables Ivern to walk into whatever side you're going to head towards a lot easier and deny a camp. I think that when you actually match the pathing, it benefits a little bit, as Mir go for a little bit of a creative clear here. Do the AoE camps and the reverse clear on the way down, as Tomio preps his bot side. Will walk to his top side to see if he goes for the 5 camp.
And as we get to look at these 2v2s in bottom lane a little bit, this is where I want to set the stakes of these, right? I think Arrow has had a very good split. Again, the second round robin, just like a lot of other players, has cooled down a little bit. But this is a big moment for Kimdown, specifically a new member to Team Liquid, to really step up against our tried and true in Zeyzal on Disguise and that new combo between him and Meech.
Zeyzal is 4-0 on the rel so far this split too. He's been very good at this champion. As we usually have expectations of Zeyzal being pretty damn good, but
You're the beard.
Opportunity for Kimdown to step up with the rest of his squad here as well. We do see junglers Mir working back towards the bot lane, where he will have priority thanks to the range from Jinx. And see Tomio cleaning up that top side that he prepped. He did go for the 5 camp prep in the Ivern. We'll smite away the Krugs and be good to go for the Crab.
I will say it's kind of cool. Tomio, typically I feel like in the meta, people are a little bit hesitant to go for the Ivern matchup, because it does require some really good knowledge on the pick and a lot of the pathing implications as well. But this has been a pick between the Maokai and the Ivern that Tomio's actually really appreciated. And I think it's interesting to watch him try to pick apart the map on it. And I think it's something that we'll have to continue to watch, as you know, this is his 4th game of Ivern so far of the summer split. But it's also a pick that has just been so powerful when put in the right position, because you have the 6th man of Daisy.
And Daisy is kind of a beast in...
No, Daisy's a rock.
Okay, well, that's cool. I guess we are trying to be friends in nature. So
yeah, come on, you don't want to hurt the beast.
Yeah, I mean, Maokai does want to hurt nature. Ivern just wants to save it.
It's the evil int versus the good int. Okay, I don't know where the evil ints exist, but so far the good int of Tomio is making it so. He does get that early Scuttle Crab, and the Fanghorn Forest battle will be just a little bit of ships in the night action.
Good tracking here from Tomio. Could even try and harass Mir on this camp. It is prio for TL mid, so Tomio
he doesn't want to give it up. He's so powerful. Like, Mir doesn't have much to say here. He'll get the ranged attacks from the bushes, and he's pushing Mir, our spring split MVP, out of his jungle.
That's a smite, so gets that one for himself. Well done from Tomio as the contest on the Raptors. Very sound. Doesn't have the smite if he wants to go for this top crab, but we still could see him look for it, given that Gwen does have priority in this top side. So again, TLC under siege here as Tomio making good use
has
of
a serious advantage on pathing right now, and he's going to keep going.
Yeah, it's making good use. Really well done by Tomio, as he has to leave that crab to prep.
He's going to go force the Gromp fight.
Yeah, he could find Mir on the top side, and at least Mir's got to be up here to make sure that Bradley doesn't get dove. I don't think that's possible, but yeah, this comes Tomio.
All right, they're going to try to go at it again. Mir able to get some decent damage back with the sapling. Tomio realizes this is no longer the fight for him to take. He'll grab that Scuttle Crab on the way out eventually, but it is a nice early move from Disguise. Still something where Team Liquid are looking for Mir to try to be a bit responsive here. And I'm looking now at the bottom side of the map as resets come out.
TL's bot lane did reset first. There is an opportunity for Mir after
he's
this.
He's going to steal this one away, right? Oh, he's almost got smite. Doesn't have it.
He's just trying to zone him off. So I'm going to be a little bit unlucky there. Mir gets one crab for himself. Spotted on out. But curious if Mir ends up trying to go for this dragon coming up. As the Jinx did base first. Does have push in the Aphelios. So I think dragon's playable here for TLC if they want to look for it early.
Could be. I think that's something that they can build towards as well. Again, we were saying both teams do have the gear to make it to a late game push for either side. But it is something where if a snowball starts to develop, a strong point starts to develop, it can just completely crash down the whole thing. We do see actually a bit of a weird lane state coming through. Michi's going to try to push this in and potentially have that priority through bot side for DSG.
Mir's late to the bot side, as Tomio's actually going to deny the Krugs away from Mir as well. So well done for Tomio, and actually a really good angle here on the bot side. If he connects with a Q, the follow-up and synergy for Rel is really sound.
They saw him, though.
Yeah, Kim Down. Nice spot by Kim Down. Playing a little bit further back. Mir gets the bad news that his Krugs are gone, and Tomio goes back to his own jungle. We're going to still clean quite a bit up. So start for Tomio continues to be very good for the side of Disguise. As this is a game where I feel like Disguise need to get a gold lead. Gwen can be the savior later, but you're still going up against a Z or Jinx. You kind of do run the late game. It's just tradition in League of Legends here in Zell.
And Disguise is a team who have been very vocal about how they want to have their success. They want to be the 2-0 team, right? And that hasn't been the case necessarily. They were able to get one yesterday. We'll see if they're able to cure their curses of those 1-1s and really make a push towards Team Liquid, who they're facing up against now. I will say, though, you always have to give a little bit of that tension over to Team Liquid. Even with Harry coming in, he is still an incredible force on this Azir as well, but it is a functioning team that is angry about their recent track record for Team Liquid.
Again, I feel like the swap overall for Harry and APA isn't the biggest difference in the world, especially for how this team plays. As I think Harry's strength has really in his game been his laning. And I think we see that given where he is in the matchup right now against the Jace. As hopefully he can create a little bit more space between himself and the Jace moving forward. But that's how TL wants to play it, though. Good
Harry
scoop.
with the scoop and dupe on Young. He will have to get that flash out from both sides. So it's something that can be revisited. Tomio wants to try to help push this in.
I like that, though, from Harry. It's a trade up. He has the dash on the E. Young does not have something like that, so opportunity now for Mir to get involved. And even see Bradley. He's going to ult Young here mid.
Double onslaught. Young doesn't have a way out. No flash. The double knock and first blood for Harry.
Great play from Bradley on the roam. Harry finds the force, trades the flashes, and it is instantly capitalized upon by the side of TLC. Also,
2-chains diff.
It opens up the Rift Herald to be taken from them. This is really tough to do into a Gwen comp, as Gwen gets Prio against the Scion. So DSG, I think, trading down in the first objectives that they take by securing this Dragon. TLC getting the Herald, not something that I had them doing in the draft. You're able to pick it up, though.
Yeah, pretty big. I think, honestly, just the connection, cohesion between Harry and Bradley is really nice to see. Obviously, the two-time champions for Team Liquid last year, and wanted to make that connection work. I know that's something that Harry talked about, right? He's like, oh, I've worked with Bradley. It's the other meshing that needs to come through, and I love to see that combination here as Kim Down just going to push the horse out of his jungle, but it's still Daisy and Tomio who will make it good on the red buff.
Be taken away by Tomio. We see does have that smite coming up. As I like the response here from TL, or say this guy's getting into the bot side jungle of TL to take that away. Very sound play coming out of Disguised as he's able to find some answers back, but still really like the play on that Rift Herald as Harry will accelerated in this game now does go for the crown. It will likely be the crown Nash's build, and gotta say, only thing that can really consistently be popped by that crown is that empowered shock blast. We'll see if Harry can sidestep some of those, keep that crown alive, and do some work in these fights.
See how that all works out, especially. But what I'm looking at now is Mir's proactivity potentially with this Rift Herald. Would actually love to see it go bot lane for Arrow. I feel like getting any gold for Jinx would be really, really big here, and especially with the way that Arrow has performed. But with so much influence and already that first blood over to Harry, I think it's likely we'll see it go mid with Kim Down's roam.
I'm fine with it going mid, just because double Rift Herald means you can kind of take the turret. So Harry doing his best to zone Young off of his cannon creep. Ivern shows up, able to get secured by the side of Young. So, not too much action there, but still. For TL, Azir has a little bit of push and a lot of support here. Harry being opened up to make some plays. Young still flashless. Can he sidestep this one?
It's Christmas! Ooh, even Tomio got hit on the other side. A little Christmas present given over to him. I honestly also shout out. I think this is the first time I haven't seen the DRX Maokai skin in like I don't know how long. There's no more alpacas here.
I mean, I feel like Mir should be playing that one to, you know, support his teammate maybe.
Yeah.
But he likes the presence. I can't blame him. That's the skin I use, so you know I can't really blame him for that. That one in goalkeeper. That's.
It just feels that good because you're giving out joy in the form of pain.
Should have good demonic embrace. Not gonna be the call though for the side of Mir.
Yeah,
It looks like it will be the
boy.
Everstone Sunfire build. It is tough to poke into Ivern, so I think being a double tank here for Azir Jinx is a-okay. Side of Mir is Harry. Gonna find 3 members of this guy's mid as Fake God has made his way here, as it is a lane swap coming out from TLC. They're trying to find some lane priority to make sure they can get a successful Rift Herald onto the Jinx, as we'll see if Mir throws it down on this wave.
I should see DSG trying to respond to a top lane push. Really good lane allocations from Team Liquid. Meech was here, but the Rift Herald, it's going to Arrow. It's going to the side lane here. I don't think they can get 2 plates off of it. They're going to need one more wave. They're going to hover it just to make sure it gets the crash in at least.
This is something I really like from TLC. They're one of the few teams that consistently do this in Challengers. The way that they will rotate the lanes to make sure that Arrow is able to get gold in the mid game, something they consistently do. And when TLC is first on the play, it forces the other team to respond. That buys time for Bradley to pick up a bit of free time in the side lane where he's not having to go up against that Gwen 24/7. Not to mention getting time for the Jinx to make sure that that first wave gets in. They get the Herald Crash, and not all the plates went over to the Jinx. Still, Crash is nice, and first turret could be opened up to the side of TLC. Now, if they want to fight for the Dragon, they're going to have to rotate that Jinx back over. So we'll see if TLC can do that successfully now as well as they try and run DSG across the map.
Trying to get every advantage possible here against DSG, and yeah, it looks like that reset does come through. I will also say I do want to do a bit of a check-in for the rosters themselves. Bradley on the side has been doing a really good job of kind of halting Fake God to some extent, but Fake God is still the Gwen, and you have so much power that'll be coming online from this side lane pick. And while we have that Dragon coming up, you have some item completions coming out of the Bave board too. It is something that Team Liquid need to hone in on a little bit.
All right, so right now, TLC, they're still sending Arrow up to that top side. That tells me they're going to actually drop this Dragon. Bradley's been left bot, so Fake God. Okay, that's funny. So Fake God was heading to that top lane. He just found out, like, by spotting Bradley there, that it's going to be Jinx returning to this lane. So you can already see Fake God running to try and find camps. He doesn't think that he can stay up here. Doesn't want to deal with this lane itself. So this Dragon will go over to DSG for free, but it's something I really like from TLC in their gameplay. They always get something in return, and even Bradley under siege here against 3, he should be fine.
It's against 4, okay, because Daisy's there, as he is tanky, but maybe not tanky enough. Zeyzal is beautifully tanking up the turret, and the unstoppable onslaught will not be enough. He actually goes down, so Bradley gets the outplay there. He does end up going out. It's a trade of a top laner for a support.
Still cleans up the majority of the wave, so Arrow's the one that gets allocated the gold, the solo gold, I must say.
Didn't
on the
get
side
all 5 plates though.
of TLC. I mean, that's That's a bit of a bummer, but still able to clean up the first brick. So again, Dragon is seeded, but it is a response from DSG as they take the turret themselves. So still gold allocated into Arrow. Overall, I think that the idea from TLC is good. Bradley play defense, not the best he could there on the bot side. And TLC is just all about what can Arrow do with the lead.
That's a big question as well that is always represented if he can get something for himself. We did get that second Dragon for DSG. So as the Ocean Soul comes onto the Rift, a little bit more brush play available for Tomio and for the Ivern and for the Saplings of Mir. But now DSG want to look back to punish Bradley yet again. He doesn't have Flash, doesn't have ulti this time. They're looking at a tier 2 now with the help of not Daisy. Okay, there's Daisy. I was going to say it should be coming out soon. And that's a tier 2 already burned down.
Big for DSG. Lots of gold now going over to the pockets of Tomio, Meech.
It's a 3v1. Run away. Daisy's coming for you. Oh, no. Oh, no. The knockups. Run away, Bradley. Oh, Tomio gets the kill, and it's heartbreaking for Team Liquid.
Oh, man, Bradley. You are Scion. You know, you get to usually be pretty
Daisy
safe.
diff, bro.
Not safe enough. This Daisy just wailing on the Scion, able to take him down over time. Inner answered, or I should say picked up by DSG. No answer for TLC. They were not quite able to crack that mid-outer. And DSG actually matching some of the plays and movements from TLC rather well in this early game as well.
And now we're about 16 minutes in, a little bit of a lead for DSG, but specifically I want to look around the map because you have a decent CS advantage and some side lane pressure from Fake God. Specifically though, you were talking about some laning phase stuff for Harry. Well, we're not necessarily there right now, but he is sitting at a beautiful CS differential over Young, and that will be so important later. The Azir has to be a big influence, as well as Arrow on the Jinx.
I like the fact you highlight that. We set up the two-threat comp from TLC. Harry has the lead, so a good opportunity for Harry. Look what he's made of this game, so it's going to have the roots come in from Mir. They're going to look at Meech.
Meech has nothing left. He did have the...
Oh, no.
He just is out of the fight now as well. He went ahead and popped the ghost, but he just goes down anyways. Mir in some trouble here. Daisy has shown up. Big scoop and dupe from Harry, and Fake God goes down to a double kill for Arrow, who's getting a little bit excited in this game, #1.
Love the attack on the Meech, who was Flash, who was that angle from Mir, pin Meech up against the Chomper, so that's a freebie, and then Fake God TPing in. Easy scoop. Can't be immune after that scoop. That forces one of the W resets. Able to clean up Fake God in the back half. TLC pushing everywhere across the map as that goal lead just melts. And now Young, he's in trouble.
Kim Down is tanky as hell here. He will end up getting out, and Young getting so low. Harry wants him, but you won't be able to get it as no Mega Death Rocket flashes from DSG, but in one fell swoop, it's DSG who just lost everything.
It's a 3K gold swing in favor of TLC, and it really comes off the back of that mid-engage from Mir. Yes, that the plays they made bot onto the Scion were good, but that flash burn from Meech, that's really all that TLC needed to make sure that they had a numbers advantage mid. They forced the play on the DSG, executed so very cleanly, and look at everything they got. 3 towers off that play, Mazel. TLC take as much as they can.
That is why they are above the rest of our teams. That is why they have been consistently the best team in our league, because of decision-making power like this and the cohesion that this roster has been building toward.
It's a great alt angle from Mir. TP from Fake God, over-ambitious as Kim Down sees the Gwen land, sends Gwen back up in the air with Harry, and that Gwen finds a gray screen rather soon. Thanks to the cooldowns TLC had available to them. Very cleanly executed fight. They had the numbers advantage, made great use of it in the mid lane, and now it's enough for TLC to consider contesting this upcoming Dragon, as this is a potential soul point for DSG. Ocean Soul would be not too bad for their side, given that they want to play
second item spikes, though.
Yeah, it's tough. You are correct. There are 2 items in for both the Azir and the Jinx, the 2 carries inside of TLC. It's enough for TLC to contest. I'm with you, Mazal. I think TLC do fight this.
Yeah, I think so as well. And you're getting the reset now coming through from Tomio. Just using Daisy to bait out DL a little bit. But the vision should come down from Arrow and Kim Down. And as we do see that second item complete for Tomio, that is pretty nice at least, and a little bit of safety and utility there for him as well in his kit. But it is something that they had a bit of a lead early. They had those 2 dragons, and now you've got to figure out how the comp comes together. I'm looking at Fake God. I'm looking at Meech. They have to be the ones here at this point.
He got in that bot wave really deep, so you're going to seesaw the map, make sure that Gwen's able to actually fight the top side. But Harry, interesting enough, goes to respawn. He has TP to get back. Him versus Fake God in this wave. Fake God doesn't have TP, so Fake God stays up there. There is no response around this dragon for the side of DSG. And once Mir starts prepping up these saplings, it's going to be rather tough to walk out in. So I think TLC are going to get this one uncontested.
And they do indeed. So first dragon over to Team Liquid. No contest from DSG. And this roster's starting to really find their stride here in Game 1. And it came off the back of such pivotal gameplay from our spring MVP in Mir. But I don't know if he can come fast enough top lane to save Harry. They'll get the TP out as well from Bradley. DSG back away.
Fight. Harry could look to go over the wall. Oh,
Bradley! Just wanted a little bit of Daisy action there. He was trying to look for that invade, but nobody else was able to follow him through.
See, that's proof that Daisy isn't a 6 champion. The side ult didn't connect, right?
She also blocks the wild growth from the Maokai, which just feels so bad.
I guess Sabers does as well, but you get shoved like a minion there. So what is Daisy?
Send Daisy to the Baron.
What is Daisy?
What is Daisy? A magnificent rock, where at this point a cupcake. Look, bye Daisy.
Waves by.
No, don't worry, she'll be back. Don't worry. The cupcake will return.
Maybe it just got scared because the Bradley's roar.
It's already back up, by the way.
Oh, don't tell me that. Yeah, that's
it literally is already back up.
We love Daisy in this match. This is started. This is in the dark. There are no blue trinkets for TLC. I don't know if they know this is going on.
Mega Death Rocket will show it out, but it's already gone. You got TP now coming in as a response from Fake God just to make sure nothing else happens here. Daisy is left behind, but that is perfectly fine as they will make it out with a Baron buff to boot.
Harry's chasing long, but DSG, they're home free. That's a yoink from Disguised, as I know that their social team are used to stealing posts, but I guess the team took a page from their book. They just yoinked that Baron for free. Turo Baron buff now on the shoulders of Disguise. That's going to be a lot of standing gold they can take down. Look at those, the mid-outer and the 2 inner turrets left. Gotta imagine Disguise can use this Baron to get all that gold in their pockets.
I will just say, this is the kind of fight we expected for both these teams. There is a reason we were propping this series up and the next one to be such bangers, because we've had gold swings of thousands of gold already back and forth, and now we're back to an even game because of that swift decision making from DSG.
Our top 4 teams in the standings playing in the last 2 series we have on LCS Challengers today. As this has been a good start.
Hey, here comes another invade or engage, at least on Atobio. He does not have enough to stay alive, and a shutdown with a snipe from Arrow.
Nice bounce back from TLC. Tomio way too far up there. He gets taken out nice and easy, as you can see that Baron push now being slowed down from Disguise. Young forced out of the side lane. Fake God will stay up top. He's going to force an answer from Harry, but actually doesn't choose to show on that wave. None of the members showed mid for TLC, so he's going to call it quits too. And that pick buys a lot of time for TLC against this Baron, so good Baron defense coming out from them.
We'll just see if it's going to be enough, as third items are going to be very close for Arrow here, as well as capitalizing on that 3rd kill to gain for him. But it's also just an incredible setup from both Bradley and Mir for Team Liquid. And on the other side, you're looking at Zeyzal to be the next big influence here. Him or Tomio, they are the big engaged threats, at least with Daisy.
Still Baron Siege for Disguise. Tomio's about to be back with the squad, so Bang waste to this mid-outer turret that's on the dock here for Disguise. They really only have 1 more wave of Baron left. So a bit disappointing the fact that Tomio got picked. They weren't able to take away a lot of that standing gold that I felt like Disguise might have been able to crack open. Did buy some time for the Gwen to get rather big, as Gwen at this breakpoint will be a menace for the rest of the game. That is something that TLC will have to worry about, but at the moment, Disguise, at least they weren't able to get those turrets down to get some bonus gold in everyone's pockets.
Trying to figure out where that gold needs to go is the most important part of these next few steps. Now, I do really like the second items coming through, but really waiting for Meech now to continue scaling up. And there is a world where we just go to another 40-minute banger and it literally just becomes Arrow versus Meech to try to make the differences as these ADCs. But now I'm particularly looking at DSG to try to get this proactivity under their belt.
30 seconds away from this dragon. They have a decent setup so far, Mazel, as this will open up Jace to fire some big shock blasts from the side of TLC. But that first one caught with by Bradley. So Bradley doing his job nicely there. That is his job, just to play bodyguard for the backline of TLC.
Got some body armor on there. He'll be just fine.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot. We do see a bit of a push actually going in favor of Team Liquid from the mid lane. See if red-white for Meech is going to be enough to live through the fight. For Team Liquid first to the objective.
Shock blast caught by Kim down. Not
I just want to catch Fake God out because that separates such a big portion of DSG's win condition here. Harry going to try to scoop and boop, and he does. He doesn't get the knockback from the Unstoppable Onslaught, but they have enough members here to burn down Fake God, and you are not immune, Gwen, when you're against this team. As Daisy blocking that big wild growth. That actually was a big difference maker for DSG making it out, but the difference does become a dragon for Team Liquid.
Kale's burn to get Zazel out of there too, but love the decision-making from Harry Mazel, someone that I know he hasn't had a lot of games to play with this roster. I think we saw a couple moments of dissonance from the TLC team yesterday, but that was not one of them today as Harry. Love that call on the Fake God, able to take Gwen away, make sure that Dragon goes over for free. I said this would be a decent soul for the side of Disguise, given that their poke identity. How valuable is this for TLC, man, having two tanks in the Jace? I mean, if they keep on stacking up these Ocean Dragons, this Jace falls off in terms of usefulness, given the sustain that TLC can have going up against the siege that Disguise wants to lay upon them.
And right now, with Team Liquid a little bit in advantages, still has been a really nice fight from DSG. They came out with a steal away comp. It felt like they took the Jace away from the Mir combo with the Maokai. You had the Aphelios there for Meech as well, something he's very comfortable on. And now it's just about executing. You did get that Lord Doms completed for Meech, so you have some damage in these very tanky front line from Team Liquid. And on the other side, you got the Bloodthirster completed for Arrow.
Even more sustain now available.
Arrow even bought the Source Pot.
TLC. I don't mind that. I think this Baron, TLC are going to look to force. It's one way you can draw Gwen towards you. Fake God with no Ghost will be weakened if they start Baron early up in this fight. As I really have liked this look out of Harry this game as well. I feel like focus they had mid. They traded that flash for flash with Young. It was a revisit from Bradley. Harry's now ahead in the game. He's been able to answer and attack a lot of the side waves. Look at that CS difference. Not just between him and his lane opponent, but everyone else in the game. A lot of focus has been put into Harry and make sure that he has the resources to be successful. Calls like that in the bot side. Great moment from Harry in that game to be decisive and give TLC something to play off of. Now we'll just see if he can cash the rest of it in as this late game Azir. Usually king of the late game here, Mazel. Harry definitely has the opportunity to do that in this game.
Yeah, again, that double carry composition we were highlighting so heavily early for Team Liquid has come to bear. Now, getting iterations of our first game of the day here. We'll see if Harry wants to make another difference, though. Tomio not very tanky either with this utility build, and Harry is starting to pump out those poking spears.
It's a good route. They actually take Daisy away from Tomio.
They burn it so fast.
They're trying to get Fake God out. Because Fake God's 16 with TP. They want to start this to get Fake God the TP to the fight. That'll be a lot of pressure off. Oh, God. They're going.
The Nature's Grasp comes through. They're separating it. They're just burning the Baron. There it goes to Team Liquid. Zazel tries to get an engage here, but the fight in bot lane is still going, so this is a full-on 4v4, and Arrow is about to get excited. It's a nice little flash. Meech stepping up. Meech stepping up. It can't get the damage. They're too tanky, even with the Lord Doms.
Great call from TLC, and really nice disengage as Zazel had an angle to try and take down Team Liquid Challengers, but between the Zanyas from Harry and the flash away from Arrow, it doesn't connect as TLC gets a Burrow Baron buff for free. Only cost them the mid-outer that was about to fall. TLC will feel really good about that.
Turo Baron buff will stop a lot of the siege that is there from Fate God as well. You got to see an instant kind of turnaround in the defensive ability of Bradley against Fate God, and that TP never got utilized. So we're looking back on the map with about a minute and a half till a dragon. A third Ocean Dragon would be the call for Team Liquid. See if they can get enough vision and enough push to set that up for themselves.
You gotta imagine with Baron, I mean, that makes it a hell of a lot easier, Mazel. So I'm gonna favor TLC to make sure that they can execute that one correctly, as it has been a rather clean game coming out of our top dogs in Challengers. And I gotta give a lot of credit over to Harry, Mazel. I feel like Harry's had a really good one.
I think Harry has, again, we were talking about how he felt last year on the Team Liquid roster that won 2 back-to-back titles. And that even that first split, he didn't feel like he was that big of an influence. But then he resurged himself in the summer. He became the show-stopping force that got him an LCS gig. And yes, there's a bit of a journey in that, and you're back in Team Liquid Challengers, but this is the biggest moment to find that growth that he was talking about so heavily yesterday.
See Arrow to the Gathering Storm this game. Nice.
You know what's going to happen.
Loot Tree. Loot Tree greater than Inspiration Tree on Marksman. Take the move speed or absolute focus. Gathering Storm's lit. Don't need those. Right. Get some free boots.
We're just going to try to seep down this in-hit tower. Nature's Grasp does come through to separate DSG out of it, though. And now, big Moonlight Vigil actually separates so much health from the bars of Team Liquid. Kim down in some trouble. DSG trying to chase him out, but they have the Sun Disc here. Harry will go golden. He buys some time. Redemption coming through. It's not enough to push back, and Harry, even at the last gasp breath, he still goes for the engage. He still makes the difference, and Arrow is right there to slam dunk DSG.
Oh, his TP, he was trying to base TP back in, stopped by Fate God, but the re-engage from Harry, he was given all the tools to be successful in this game. He makes it pay off there, as he was able to get back to base. He's gonna come back with a full health bar. TLC gonna take this game 1 win.
The highlight reel will just be Harry. Flash, Shifting Sands, Emperor's Divides over and over again. And in that last moment, literally less than 300 health, he still goes for it. He still survives. And Team Liquid dominate game number 1.
I really do think his only way out was to go in there. And the fact he was able to trade out both carries, those are the moments we're looking for out of this TLC roster. Decisiveness together. Not a lot of games with Harry under their belt, but when Harry is able to play like that, that's one way to bring the team together, make sure they're all on the same page. It felt like every single play the TLC was making was really based around that Azir. Harry got all the resources that he needed to be successful, and he really carried that game home for TLC. Really good game 1 from him.
They'll move themselves up to 3 games above everyone else. See what happens after a little break. But before we do, you gotta know that the LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo. We had a ton of Turo Baron buffs in that last game. The world's largest car sharing marketplace where you can book any car you want for just about any occasion. Forget about boring car rentals at Turo.com. We'll see you after this for the Rally Cry halftime show. Don't miss it.